I wonder if you've seen little post-it notes. They're colourful. They're pick-me-up post-it notes. Not in your office, not as a reminder to do something boring, but rather the ones that have been plastered all around our city on light posts, fences, and bridges, and all sorts of pillars. One of my favourites that I've seen is it just simply says "Stay shiny." I like that one as we head towards winter and the colder months. But there are thousands more, and they've raised lots of questions. Where do they come from? What are they all about? What are they saying? Well, I found the person with the answers. She's a pick-me-up person. She's a can-do Canberran today. Her name is Lumiel Ricardo, and she's the force behind positive post-it notes. G'day, Lumi.
Hello, Kim.
Thanks so much for joining us on Sunday Brunch. You talk about this phenomenon that you've started. What is it all about? What's positive post-it notes about?
Positive post-its is basically just a way to kind of get good thoughts and good little reminders out into the world to spread some positivity at a time when a lot of people might feel they need a little bit extra, that little extra pick-me-up positive message on
Absolutely.
on their daily journey.
How'd you get the idea?
So it came about partly due to my time in Japan, where I was away from friends and family, and I found how important those little messages that they would send were. And then returning to Canberra, I started volunteering at Lifeline and working at Headspace in Canberra, and really came to understand how important it was in those moments where, the person might not be feeling so great, they might be feeling isolated, and how important just those little positive reminders can be for them to connect to themselves and help them to connect to other people in their communities.
And I
Yeah.
understand you had a launch the other night of positive post-its.
We did. We had a love catapult party.
I should say you've been called on our Facebook site a feel-good bandit. So I like this really
Woo!
dynamic language. But you had
I
a
like
catapult launch.
that. Yeah, we had a catapulting love and connecting up the hearts officially on Friday nights.
Yeah, because there's a strategy, right? There's a geolocation strategy that these clumps of post-it notes form a shape.
Yeah, so we thought it would be something really fun and really lovely to create a shape, in this case, a big heart all across north of Canberra. And that seems to be received well. Yeah, it's been beautiful to read how people have encountered them on their walks yeah.
So you said that's been received well. So you started. How many have you done? And then have you got a sense of how many people have done altogether?
So, me personally, I've been doing it for a number of years. Usually I do it around Valentine's Day and Christmas, times when people really, it can be helpful to be connected to that love. And over the years, I've probably done hundreds, usually in the city. Civic is a favourite
Hundreds.
spot. Yeah.
Oh, much respect. This is Lumiel Ricardo. She's the positive force behind positive post-it notes. You've probably seen them little post-it notes we use as a pick-me-up at all, really useful at all times, particularly now. Always interested in creative process. How do you come up with these hundreds of punchy lines to bring us together, keep us feeling good?
So I always like to extend it out to the community. It's a project that I guess I've kind of brought to the fore, but this craft, this idea of creating these kinds of projects has been around for so long and has manifested in so many different ways. So I like to remember that really it is the community, it is everyone that creates them. So to come up with the phrases, I initially this time I started with a Facebook post saying uh, we'd just started lockdown, and I said to everyone in the community, at this time, what would you want people to know? And I got so many replies
Mm.
from so many different people all across different communities and even across the world uh, with messages that they wanted to share, and that's how I came up with them. And the ones that I come up with personally, it's a bit of a mindful process. It's almost a meditative process to think, what messages would I want to receive, and also what messages would I want to give out?
Oh,
What?
Hey, Lumi, there's messages are coming in on the text line to you and for positive post-it notes. I love these notes. Anonymous is saying, "Have you popped outside my restaurant at Everett Shops? Thank you. It's really lifted their mood."
Oh,
Sarah and Bruce has come in and said, "This is a really interesting one. Seen it, love your work." And she likes in particular, "Nothing is permanent." So I've got to ask you,
oh.
how do you feel about these things that you put effort into being blown away? How do you feel about that?
I am at peace with the transient nature of all things, and something I really enjoy is the fact that they do break down. So we put them up and they're fresh and they're bright and the message gets out there. But over time, the message fades, the colour fades, and they become just a shape. And then eventually they blow away and they just break down. And I think that's something really beautiful about the nature of the notes and about the nature of reality, about the way that it is. Just being okay with that. Yeah.
Oh, there's so much
It's
in
also
there.
eco-friendly, which I enjoy the fact that they break down eventually. Yeah.
Just you've only got a couple of minutes, but have you got a couple of favourites for us?
So many. So be kind to yourself, or you are your closest friend. You are loved, which is always a really beautiful one. Compassion creates connection. Good little alliteration there. There's so many, yeah, and people can. I mean, it's such an easy process to get involved. Just to, yeah.
Yeah,
You've got
that's a
piece
great
of
point.
paper.
The bar's pretty
Yeah.
low, eh? We don't have to fill in forms or go to these huge meetings to help out others. How do you even get involved?
So we've got a Facebook page, which you can find by searching Positive Post-its with a Z, because Positive Post-it was already taken with an S, Positive Post-its. And we've also got an Instagram as well. And through the Facebook page, we're looking to host some crafternoons. So if anyone is interested in your local area to jump on board, but you're not quite sure how to start, come and join us. But yeah, it's kind of putting the challenge out at this stage to people within their local community, wherever you're listening in from across Canberra or out around Canberra.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just
Hey,
have
Lumi,
a
you let me
go.
know. I like this. As long as it doesn't break any social gathering laws, I want to be at one of these crafternoons. I'll bring my little microphone along so that Sunday Brunch listeners can
Would
find out
love
about them
that.
too.
We're thinking of Zoom, so there'll be Zoom afternoons,
Yep,
and yeah,
even better. Oh, thank
yeah.
you very much for joining me on Sunday Brunch, Lumi, for your positivity, for your post-it notes, and we'll keep in touch and we'll be looking out for your good work.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you for having me along, and yep, sending lots of positive vibes to everyone listening.
So good. Thank you very much.
Beautiful afternoon.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Ah, that's Lumi Ricardo. She's the driving force behind positive post-it notes.